Another beautiful Monday morning to talk sport right here on Dominion Television, your channel of choice, and this is Dominion Sport. This wonderful morning, we're talking sport right here on the go. We're looking from the local stories this wonderful morning. Shooting Stars finally picked up a victory right there against Kun Khalifat at the Lakon Salami Stadium. Also, Eyimba are still the only team to be beaten right there in the MPFL this season. And remember, Governor Oti also promised them 30 million naira. All this and more on the show. We'll be looking at the game between Manchester United and Chelsea. Also, Arsenal against Manchester City. And remember, the Ballon d'Or is today. Is it going to be Ousmane Dembele, Lamine Yamal, or Rafinha, or all the players that made the nominees was going to pick up the Ballon d'Or today? All this and more on the show. I am Paul Abe Toluwanimi, and I have the expert analyst himself, Samson Balogun, here this morning, the man with undiluted report and unbiased analysis. Good morning to you, Samson. How are you feeling this Monday morning?
Yes, I'm feeling really good and raring to go. This is where we bring you unbiased analysis and, of course, undiluted reports. We say thank you for staying tuned, and most definitely, weekends are for actions.
Yeah,
Mondays are for reactions.
reactions.
That's exactly why we're here, to dissect every action that went down over the weekend. Shooting Star Sport Club of Ibadan got their first victory of the season against Kun Khalifat. 2-1, it ended in favor of Shooting Stars. And of course, there are so many other interesting results, especially on the continent. I was talking about the CAF Champions League and the Confederations Cup. Kwara United going to Ghana. Of course, being able at least getting some away goals. And Abia Warriors too, Remo Stars,
Rivers United.
Well, these are things we'll talk about on the show.
Definitely. All right, all this and more on the show, but how we do it on the show, we look at the local front this Monday morning, the MPFL fixtures for the weekend. There you have it on the screen. The result for the weekend games. Trust me, Samson, beautiful goals were scored over the weekend in the MPFL. Yimba United still remaining the unbeaten team this season. There you have it, 3-2 against Bendel Insurance, Shooting Stars against Kun Khalifat. You have Bayelsa against Nasarawa United. We have Al Kanemi Warriors against Warri Wolves. Niger Tornadoes, I'm sure, Samson, a shocking one for you. 4-2. Still to come today, Katsina United against Wiki Tourists. For you, let's look at Eyimba and the other teams that played right there on match day 5.
I think we should give, Bendel Insurance their flowers. Eyimba were 2 goals up in the first half, and then Bendel Insurance rallied back 2-2, and then before Eyimba finally got the winning goal. So I think it was just probably it was complacency, if you want to call it that way. Eyimba felt, oh, we are in cruise control, and Bendel Insurance found their way back into the game before they finally got a winning goal. But then going into subsequent games in the season, I don't think Eyimba should concede so much, especially when playing at home. But then eventually they were able to get all 3 points, still maintaining their standards, the only team yet to be defeated in the MPFL so far this season. And I think for some time they might be able to carry that for a few more matches.
All right, quick one, Samson. You look at the Niger Tornadoes picking up the victory against Ikorodu City, 4-2. That's a mouth-watering, game right here with goals, and actions for you. Were you expecting Ikorodu City to actually maybe just pick up a draw? Were you expecting Niger Tornadoes, with their form this season, were you expecting them to win that game against Ikorodu City?
I think, Ikorodu City have not been really spectacular this season. This is actually not the Ikorodu City you saw last season that came to Ibadan. Of course, I gave Shooting Stars a problem. So there has been a little bit of issues as regards scoring goals. They've been creating a little bit of chances, but then converting them has been a problem. They were also, coasting to victory. 3-0 it ended in the first half. But then, the Ikorodu City were able to get 2 goals, and then Niger Tornadoes also got one back. So ended in 4-2. But I feel Niger Tornadoes deserved the victory in its entirety. They prepared well for this, and they capitalized on the current issues being faced by Ikorodu City, not being able to convert their chances, and the little they convert, they shipped in too many goals. So it's a problem if you are not scoring.
If you're not scoring, you should be able to defend.
You should be able to defend. But unfortunately, they aren't scoring too many goals, but they are conceding too many goals right now. So I think Ali Kandeo should go back to the drawing board and see exactly what he can do differently.
Amazing.
You now see how they play now. There is no touch of how Aguero played last season in their game. They're a little bit more direct now. Ikorodu City last season played in midfield. You know, they had very sharp players on the wing, like Shola Delane and the likes. These are quality players.
Quality players,
But this season, I think Shola Delane has been moved a little bit to the center. And, you know, the bite on the wings has really reduced somehow.
A little bit, yeah.
But then you look at their defense too. They lost, you know, 2 players, one in midfield and one in defense. I think that's where the problem is coming from.
All right.
They weren't able to replace them successfully, and that's a problem. So going on into the season, I think they're still going to face more
problems. Yeah.
If
they're not able to sort out
plug those holes. I
true.
think they've been found out. Let's just be direct about it. People now understand. Oh, this
this is how they play. This is the system.
This is what they do. So they have resorted to playing direct football from goalkeeper down to the strikers, or maybe down to midfield, and then they start, you know, fighting for the ball in midfield. Sometimes your goal kick is hijacked by an opposing team, and then you start all over again defending. So why not start from the back? And that's why I say, if you are really going to do what is being done around the world now, which is starting from the back, a lot of African goalkeepers will have problems. And it's not limited to where you are coming from. It's not like the coach doesn't like you. Yes, you're a fantastic goalkeeper, but will you be able to play with the team?
I agree.
If that is not the case, you are definitely going to end up on the bench. So let's keep our fingers crossed. Ikorodu City, they have really changed from what we saw last season. And maybe the new coach, Ali Kande, who assisted Nurudi Awero last season, maybe he's still trying to,
he's still trying to maintain that pattern of Nurudi Awero.
No, not like that. Okay. Maybe he's trying to make a little bit of changes, trying to see how he can play his own way. But then I think that is lots of Liverpool. He took over last season and then realized, oh, if I do too much now, will be found out, and then it will be a problem. Right. So he maintained his Jurgen Klopp style until the season ended. And then towards the end of the season, he was already implementing his own style ideas. And immediately the season ended, he was able to secure the players that match his own vision of how to play football. And that's where you see Ugo Ekitike, Florian Wirtz, and
the likes.
So many other players like that. Alexander Isak is kind of striker. So you would see that he knows exactly what he's looking for. For a defending champion, nobody would have expected you to spend so much in the transfer window. And you are not just spending, you are recruiting players
in the right
strategic positions.
For us, but let's look at the result against Shooting Stars against Kun Khalifa. The game ended 2-1. Something for you, much needed victory. You know, on Friday we're talking about is the line going to be drawn if it doesn't pick up the victory against Kun Khalifa. But you were at the stadium yesterday. I'm sure you know you saw what needed to be done ahead of that game, and we picked up the victory 2-1. For you, something, you know, how was the game like for you watching Shooting Stars play Kun Khalifa?
Well, I think there was an improvement on what we have seen so far this season. The coach made a few changes, and that could have actually defended the ball. So it ended in a goal. I mean, you know, if that continues, that will be a major problem for Shooting Stars.
It's been a problem, Samson.
It's becoming a consistent issue. The last minute rush was absolutely unnecessary.
Wow.
You know, they shouldn't have. They had, you know, stayed close to what they had. I mean, maintained the two goal lead. Probably they wouldn't have had to, you know, defend so hard in the last few minutes of the game. Right. So if you are meant to be in a comfortable situation and then you put yourself in a situation where you have to defend for the last 2, 3, 4 minutes of the game, which could have ended in enders. Alamin is new in that defense. Utin is an experienced player. They understand exactly what it means to play for Shooting Stars. He has been around for some time. Bolagade Adelowo, 2 seasons ago, was the best player for Shooting Stars, and of course he played all 38 games. Alamin is new. Yes, Galifake also. Within that defense line, the only missing piece in the back four is Adeleye, who is no longer with the team. You should have. That's the only missing piece in defense. And Mustafa Lawa, who wasn't in goal, Gus Elkena had to fill in for him. But the issue is between the goalkeepers and the defenders. I think that you guys played for different teams before you came to Shooting Stars. At least only 2 of them. That's Goskift, and Halamin in that defense. And I still feel like some of them have not really played at this stage before. Some of them played for maybe Osun United, Ijebu United. Yes, they are fantastic players, but they are playing for the first used to it. And before it becomes a problem, I was talking to someone at the stadium yesterday, which gave them the opportunity to play free kicks, you know, right close to the opposition.
Start winning a match from the group 5. My plan was to start winning from the beginning, but yet the errors we have been making before give us a kind of wisdom to deal with every errors. So I'm very happy, and I believe that God will continue to make me happy. We need to continue to be winning our matches, both home and away. So I'm so happy. And I think this, the winning today will give the boys confidence. Of course, we can do it already, but we need to see today was that we scored 2 goals. So it's going to.
Like I said, the Samson Balogun was in the stadium to watch their game, and we have been speaking about Shooting Stars. But Samson, going forward for you for Shooting Stars, how do you see us prepare for, away games? I'm sure, maybe the point for you, what needs to be done going forward?
Well, I think, one of the challenges they have had so far this season is that there's only one recognized goal scorer in that team, and that is Sodiq Ibrahim.
You keep talking about this.
When he's injured, you just feel like whoever comes in doesn't. Yes, if if in a similar climb, players don't go through too much stress when they are going to play football games away from home. Take for example, if they are going to Benin, for example, they should be going by flight or by train. But unfortunately, we don't have that kind of facility in Nigeria. And most teams cannot afford to send, their players. So it's a routine. So for a player like Sodiq Ibrahim, who is obviously managing an injury, because if you look at how he plays, you would know that obviously he's managing an injury, maybe nail or tie, but he's definitely managing an injury. So it's going to be a problem for me. I don't think he can play all 38 games. I just feel like, out of the 38, if he's able to do 20 for them, well, maybe if I'm to put it that way. But if the problem now is who is going to replace him when he's no longer there. I want to remember his name, who was when Sodiq Ibrahim was substituted yesterday. For example, there are players who can play on the wing, but then they have this sharp bite, and Sodiq Ibrahim is not available. But I don't see him playing out.
Dominion Sports, we'll be talking, more about local stories and Shooting Stars right here on the show. Moving away from that, let's look at more stories making the front this morning. Governor Oti rewards Eyimba with 30 million naira after trading 3-2 comeback win over Bendel Insurance. Governor Alex Oti of Abia State openly expressed his joy after watching Eyimba come from behind twice to defeat Bendel Insurance 3-2 in a dramatic MPFL match day 5 clash at Eyimba International Stadium right there in Aba on Sunday. Bendel Insurance Chinedu opened scoring on the 2nd minute before Joseph Abiodun leveled for Eyimba on the 18th minute. A striker from Insurance regained the lead in the 60th minute with Nwosu netting a second of the match for the People's Elephants. And substitute Chidera Michael sealed the win with the decisive goal in the 69th minute. Visibly delighted, Governor announced a reward of 10 million naira each of the 3 goals scored by 9-time Nigerian champions, revealing the club chairman Nwankwo Kanu would collect 30 million cash prize on Monday. And I quote, "I am watching you after the hard-fought win. And as a result, I will show appreciation by giving you 10 million naira for each goal scored today. So by Monday, your chairman will be giving the money, and that's going to be 30 million.
We would always have when the government is involved in sports. How many times have you seen Todd Bowley going to the camp of Chelsea or going to meet them in the dressing room and say, "Oh, I'm giving you guys $10,000 each for winning a game"? that doesn't happen, as long as you have a contract, and as long as you can fulfill that contract. Oh, how many times have you seen, for example, Kunle Shoname going to the dressing room and say, oh, I'm giving his own end of the contract. As long as you get your match bonuses, as much as you get your, weekly allowances, all that, and then you have also some other benefits you get as a player. And when they feel like, oh, you are doing really well, contracts are renewed, and then you get, an increment on what you currently earn.
So for you feel not this way. It should not be done this way.
It's not done this way, actually. It's not done this way. There are other ways things can be done. So what will happen when there are days it doesn't come and then you win, and it doesn't come to watch the game? There's no motivation. So we should be, I think people should be accountable. You have gotten a contract with the team. Your role is to perform optimally. And if that is not being done, you'll be held accountable. And I don't want to see the governor coming out to say, there was a time I was also talking about the chairman of Shooting Stars coming, and then an announcement. This is more or less like politics for me. So we do not politicize everything. Kunle Shoname has nothing to prove to anybody. So even if he has awarded the players 100 million naira to share, nobody has to know about it. It's a club thing. So these are things.
So on another note, you're saying even if he wants to motivate the players, we should not know what
it's a club thing. It's a club thing. It's not for the news actually. And the reason you will find it in the news like this, that which will be publicized, and then reporters will be called to come and report and then gather stories and then push a narrative out there. It's because this is politics to them. When the time comes for another election, we will say, oh, I did well for Yimba Football Club of Aba, and then football followers will godly follow
him to that
and say, oh, because he spent money on the Yimba Football Club. And that will be. So we should not politicize the game of sports, because once we do, to come out of it will be a problem. Now, let me take you back the memory lane. We have seen Nigerians who have been saddled with responsibilities of, being at the corners of power when it comes to the game of sports. We have seen Sani Lulu, Ogunjobi, Aminu Maigari. There are a lot of people. They brought politics into. Most of them are politicians, and then they found their way into Nigerian sports setting. Bolaji Ojoba, for example, also. So these are people who have political background. So we don't bring politics to sports. The moment you bring it to sports, it becomes a problem. That would be a channel for them to funnel their illicit ill-gotten wealth through the game of sport and then out there. So
it becomes a problem.
It becomes a problem. So you begin to wash political money through the game of sport.
So
you send 200 million naira and then they take 10 million. On the other hand, you take 190 million. So we don't want to see that in the African setup. So let's not politicize let's not politicize sports. So I just want to employ Alex Otti, just like every other governor has been doing so far. We have not really seen much of this. So let's just keep it down. Let's keep it down.
All right. And that's what Samson Balogun said. Let's keep it down. And for you, it might be okay to just celebrate your club side, but at least there are better ways to do it. Let's take more stories still on the local front quickly. It was a tale of mixed fortunes for Nigerian teams in the 2025-2026 CAF club competitions on Sunday across the continent. Reigning Nigerian champions Remo Stars showcased class against the side defeating US Zilimanjo. The Sky Blues Stars scored 4 past their opponents in a scintillating fashion to take LD advantage into the second leg built for the same stadium. Leonard Ngige opened the scoring for the host side in 12 minutes while they slammed the door in the box for the loose ball from a corner kick before Ebuka Anthony extended the lead at the brink of our halftime. Off the training ground routine at the restart, Malian Adama of Goita headed home for the 3rd time after a deep cross from Ibrahim Abubakar, while Samson Olashukwu completed the route of the bench at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium in Uyo. Abia Warriors suffered a setback after conceding late into the game against Boys in the 20th header from a brilliant cross. However, the CAF debutant failed to have the second goal and suffered a late equalizer at the both sides share the spoils in the CAF Confederation Cup. for you Remo Stars, 4-0 against the Comoros side of Zelemanju. Beautiful one for them. Remo Stars getting that victory. Still having another game on their home turf, so I think it's an easy ride for Remo Stars at this point in time. But Rivers United, heading straight down to Congo and getting a draw, not a good one for them. Also, you spoke about the game against Asante Kotoko, 4-3, and against the Kwara United and Abia Warriors also having 1-0 draw. For you, how did you see, Nigerian teams are playing on the big stage?
I think for Rivers United and Remo Stars, I think they still have they are just the teams with the chance right now. And for Remo Stars, they will be playing the return leg on their own turf too, so they are not traveling. The so-called teams Banju, they do not have an accredited home ground to play a CAF game, so automatically this is going to be a stroll in the park for Remo Stars. So let's not talk about Remo Stars; they are done and dusted. Let's talk about Rivers United. They have travelled and got a draw. Yes, fantastic result away from home, if you want to put it that way. Yeah. That means they have a chance. They were playing on their home turf, and then they have a chance of qualifying for the next phase. So there's still hope, and there's light at the end of the tunnel for Rivers United. But Kwara United, yes, they also still stand a chance. I saw a few highlights of the game yesterday, and then I checked the comment section of the game between Kwara United and Asante Kotoko, and I saw Ghanaians, putting a lot of stuff there. This team is even a mid-table team in the Nigerian league. They are not really doing well. They are 14th, they are 12th, and then they are giving Asante Kotoko a huge problem. So see, the thing is, people forget that the game of football is not judged about what level you are on. And I think Kwara United gave it their all. It was just a lot for them to handle.
Yeah, great.
And do not forget that CAF still uses the away goal rule, which makes it a lot easier for Kwara United. For Kwara United, they stand a chance. Reason is if they win 2-1, 3-2 at home, they are still qualified. They are moving to the next phase. So let's just hope that they are able to seal the bag. And unfortunately for them, they will not be playing at the Lorne Township Stadium. They will have to play in Ijebu-Ode, meaning that they are still playing away from home, just that they will have more fans because they are in Nigeria. And if you look at that game, as Asante Kotoko got the first goal, Kwara United equalized. Asante got another one, Kwara equalized, and then Asante scored two back-to-back before Kwara in the 85th minute or so by Shola. They got another goal, and then it ended 4-3. And the only thing, the takeaway for me was their hunger for goals. I mean, because they considered the first goal away from home in Ghana against Asante Kotoko, didn't deter them from doing more and being able to get a goal from that game. So, fortunately for them, they were able to get 3 away goals. Massive one for Kwara United.
Big one.
They are quality goals, and that brings them to the table when they come back home. Look, how do we do it that even if it is by just one goal, we score 1 goal and then we seal it and then we move on. So that takes them to the next step and the next stage in the competition. And don't forget that I've always said this, that I'm not really a fan of preliminary stages when it comes to the CAF Champions League. Why must every team play in the preliminary? The UEFA Champions League, yes, some people play preliminary stages, but then teams like Chelsea who qualify not by they qualify, probably won the league, and then you are still telling them to come and play. I saw
a statement that it's only Al Hilal and Mamelodi Sundowns that would not play at the first round of the preliminary, and I'm wondering
they are moving straight to the group phase.
So
why go through all that?
Why are we stressing ourselves on this?
The thing is, only teams from lesser leagues or teams that were placed at a lesser position when it comes to qualification, those are the ones that play qualification preliminary stages in Europe. So why can't we adopt that? If you adopt everything from Europe and you cannot adopt that, I think that's a problem. And then the issue, one of the other things that should be trashed is the issue of playing the CAF Champions League final and then playing home and away. I don't understand. So what exactly are we doing? Why do we have to waste resources?
So I'm going to play final in my home game. You can't play final, and at the end of the day,
it doesn't make sense. It doesn't. So I think CAF also, they're trying to adopt some things and then they're trying to make a change. Let's hope that you know, in the long run, these changes are made.
All right, let's move away from that story and let's take more from the local front. Falconet beat Rwanda in 2026 FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup qualifiers. Nigeria Under-20 girls Falconet pipped host Rwanda 1-0 in the 2026 FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup second round, first leg qualifying match in Kigali on Sunday. Both teams fought hard on the pitch of Kigali Pele Stadium, located in Kenya, director of the city, but there were no breakthroughs for either side in the gritty first 45 minutes. Alaba Olabi scored from a goal-mouth scramble of a corner kick in the 70th minute to give Nigeria victory and put smiles on the face of head coach Moses Adaku in the first outing with the team. Both teams will clash in the return at the Lakon Salami Stadium right there in Ibadan on Saturday, while the Falconet delegations will return to Nigeria on Monday morning. Victory for the girls, some said, and they're coming to the home turf where you have fans free entry right there at the Lakon Salami Stadium.
Well, all things being equal, they should be on their way back to Nigeria as we speak. And, you know, it's a fantastic one for them, getting an away victory. And they are coming to the Lakon Salami Stadium on Saturday, where they will have more fans at the stadium. The gate has been thrown open, so automatically there is no point, you know, saying no, they are going to have more fans. Definitely, people will turn up to watch the game. So I just feel like they are also struggling a little bit, maybe because they played away from home. Let's see when they come home and see exactly how things will be done when they come back here. But the arrangement is that you know, when you are comfortable on the ball, I think the way they play, they are comfortable on the ball. These guys are fantastic. They are fantastic players, and they have always. Age-grade football in Nigeria has always been the source of joy for most Nigerians.
Yeah, true, I agree.
They are mostly disappointed by what the Super Eagles does. Save for Super Falcons that, you know, usually represent. They always show up when it's necessary. But when you look at the under-17, under-20, under-21, and then under-23, which are the dream team, they are usually the ones that, you know, always put a smile on the faces of Nigerians, and I think they will continue from there. We really do not struggle when it comes to selection for the age-grade football. And when you look at them, these are places where you cannot lie about what you can do. You know, as a young player, there's a level of expectation. And then when you are given the chance to do it, and you cannot, it's obvious for everyone to see. But when it comes to the case of the Super Eagles, that's when you do federal character. Oh, there must be an Hausa in the team. There must be someone from the Southeast, South, someone from the Southwest. And then you bring all of them together, there's no communication. There's no basic football skill. You begin to wonder, is this the same Alex Iwobi that plays for Fulham that is playing for... Look at what he did. Alex Iwobi, for example, what he did on, I think on Saturday night. Over the weekend against Brentford. And fantastic artist.
I've not seen that assist, you know, in the camp of the Super Eagles before from Alex Iwobi.
You can't see that. You can't see that.
Absolutely. Let's move away from that because of our time, and let's look at the actions over the weekend. There you have it on the screen. Yes, Samson, fantastic weekend. Liverpool and Slaughter are still showing, and I'm wondering why was Alexandra Isak brought to the team? I'm wondering, you know, Liverpool's form this season is on the eye. You know, getting in the goals. It's been back-to-back 5 wins, you know, for them this season. And is Liverpool all the way? Something Balogun for you, you know, how do you see Liverpool and all that result over the weekend?
I think Liverpool as a football club, they have shown that consistency is very important. That also that when you are recruiting, you recruit what you need, not just what you want. Some coaches recruit what they want, and eventually really does not fit what exactly they will be needing for the team. So that's a problem. But for Ancelotti, he has been able to recruit in strategic areas. So even if the new players are not available,
I'm sure
the whole team is still very much intact. Except for Luis Diaz that left and Diogo Jota that passed away. They have fantastic players in that team.
I agree.
Fantastic players.
All right, there you have Liverpool against Everton, the Merseyside derby. Yes, the game ended 2-1. Gravity Marvin Begg and Ugo Ekitike getting a goal, and also Idris Agay getting a goal for Everton. Bullet goal. Aston Villa finally getting a goal, but it's not looking easy right now. For Unai Emery, he had to walk down the pitch after the game. He could not even speak to the fans or the players. He was really, really agitated, wondering what's the next plan for Aston Villa. Moving away from that, moving away from the Aston Villa story, let's take more result from the game over the weekend. Yes, Samson Balogun, Manchester United against Chelsea. The game ended 2-1, and for you, you're wondering. 2 red cards in that game. Sanchez in the 5th minute and Casemiro in additional time in the first half. For you, I'm sure if Enzo Maresca would have started Manchester United this season, he would know in the first 10 minutes of the game they play like their life depends on it. Then in the next minute of the game, they are back to the normal default set of Manchester United, and that happened. You saw the pressure from Manchester United. The first kickoff of the game, pam, and they're straight with it. And Chelsea are crumbling. They are wondering what's happening with the ball game. Sanchez committing that error, an error that he should have avoided. For you look at the game for Enzo Maresca, you look at the game for Ruben Amorim and the players. What went wrong for Chelsea, what went right for Manchester United.
I think the Chelsea coach Enzo Maresca, he got it wrong on three different fronts. One, he did not read the team well before the game, so he set up, in a really bad shape. And while the game was going on, Sanchez already got a red card. He read the game wrong again, made the wrong set of substitutions, and so those are the places where he got it wrong. And when you look at how they were playing, eventually when they subbed off all the attacking players, Chelsea had the ball. But unfortunately, there was nothing they could do with it because there was no pointer and there was no striker on the field. There was no Pedro Neto, no Estivao, no Kopama, everyone outside. Now, the problem is, I asked a question. I asked myself a question. So, if you stopped off all your attacking players, what exactly were you trying to do on the field? Defend for 85 minutes?
Because he made a statement saying, Manchester United, had 5 attackers on the pitch. So he felt if he could, get 5 defenders also trying to defend against them, maybe that was the philosophy at that point in time. And you look at the players they brought on were making errors. I'm talking about Tosin Darabia. You're also making errors in that game.
You see, when you go, you can check from last season, the central defensive partnership of Tosin Adarabioyo and Wesley Fofana always would end in a disaster. It happened in the last game. I think that was against Brentford, when Chelsea, got a second goal and they thought they were coasting to victory. It happened again. And when you look at what happened against Manchester United, Wesley Fofana was on the field of play. And the moment I saw the team sheet, I knew something was going to go wrong in this game because Fofana, for me, apologies to him, but it's not of the quality that should play for Chelsea. But unfortunately, he's in the team. And the coach has to make use of every player in his arsenal because there are too many games to be played.
And too many injuries at this point in time.
At this time. So, if you look at how Chelsea set up, Chelsea did not go into that game to win because the coach made a lot of mistakes. And when you make such mistake against a team like Manchester United that would always play for pride anytime, no matter how bad the Manchester United team is, when they play Chelsea, they are always going to come out guns blazing. So, I expected him to contain Manchester United for the first 20 minutes, just like you said, they play 10, 15 minutes. And after that, they go back to their factory settings. So I expected him to contain them for 15, 20 minutes and then start the game. But unfortunately, they did not. Sanchez came rushing. I don't exactly know what he was coming out to do. One, you did not eventually prevent the goal. You got the record and put your team in the wrong. So if they had scored the goal, they would have 85 minutes chance. They had 85 minutes and 100% chance of equalizing. So why put yourself in a situation when they will be a man down? You made them, you give them a fair chance of actually winning the game by, excusing yourself from the field of play. So I think Sanchez, just like Goskiv Ekena, they should actually work on how they rush out for the ball, and then see there are situations where, yes, the ball is in flight and you feel you have an advantage, but in the real sense of it, you don't, because you have to stay back a little bit and let your players fight for the ball.
I agree. All right, let's look at Arsenal against Manchester City. Also, that one ended 1-1. Haaland, with the goal, and also Gabriel Martinelli coming again to get the point for the goal, as he did that in the Champions League. He got an assist, and also doing that again over the weekend against Manchester City. The game ended 1-0 between Arsenal and Manchester City. Before we move away and before we wrap up the show, Samson, the Ballon d'Or is upon us today, and I got a report that Lamine Yamal has said he's going to take 20 members of his family right here to France, maybe to celebrate the victory if he ends up picking up the Ballon d'Or, and also is going to throw a private party. But Ousmane Dembele also, is set. It looks like a man set to pick up the victory, for the Ballon d'Or. And also, you wonder, Paris Saint-Germain have a game against Olympique Marseille tonight, and I'm wondering, but they could not postpone the game because they said they tried to fight for it, but that appeal was not given to them. But Paris Saint-Germain have a game against Marseille. But the Ballon d'Or for you, Samson Balogun, what do you think deserve the Ballon d'Or?
Well, I think, the two players, Lamine Yamal, most definitely, Ousmane Dembele, they had a fantastic season. And for Ousmane Dembele, won the UEFA Champions League. Yeah. Unfortunately for him, the Club World Cup should have been a place to cement, what he started. But Chelsea, derailed that, and he could not win the Club World Cup. But that does not water down what he did all through the season. So he still stands in pole position to win. Also, Lamine Yamal had huge contribution for Barcelona last season. Fantastic player, contributed goals and assists. And so far this season, he picked up from where he stopped last season. So he's also in a very good situation to actually win the Ballon d'Or. But sometimes we have seen situations where you will say, oh, this player actually deserves the Ballon d'Or. Eventually, when votes are being counted, then someone else comes on board. Rodri, for example, won the last one. The first, past winner that did not make the list the following year. I mean, that's massive. That's huge record. Huge record. And some player did it and were there for about 15 years and back to back. So let's just hope that the best man picks it up. But I'm still taking for now. I think Ousmane Dembele.
Okay. For those wondering how the players will be picked and why they are picked, they are going to have individual performances, decisive and impressive performance, titles achieved, and fair play behavior on and off the pitch. So if you're wondering the criteria for how these players will be picked tonight, those are the criteria for what they're going to look out for. And for me, I'll be hoping that Dembele also picks up the Ballon d'Or. Before we wrap up the show, let's look at Formula One right there. Formula One Grand Prix in Azerbaijan. There you have it on the screen. Samson Balogun, quick one, fantastic victory. For the man himself, Max Verstappen, getting that victory. We have George Russell also, and Sainz, fantastic one for Alex Sainz also getting that one. Kimi Antonelli having that one right there. Tomorrow we're going to be discussing the Formula One better tomorrow on the show. We just wanted to give you a tidbit of what to expect right here on the show tomorrow. Also, we'll be back here to discuss the Ballon d'Or winner and more stories making the round in the world of sport this morning. Samson Balogun, thank you so much for joining.
Good to be here.
You say Ousmane Dembele again for you?
Ousmane Dembele.
All right. We're going to be here again tomorrow to give more stories on that. That's all we're going to have for today's show. Make sure you enjoy yourself. Stay blessed and bye for now.